Okay, I think I'm recording. This is the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy's podcast, Holistic Transformation. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly. My computer died, so I'm on a backup computer. I don't even have all the files over here. They're trying to download now, so I don't have my music. I don't have the lead-in. I don't have my editing software. So I'm just going to do this live in Zoom and upload it from Zoom. So I'm sorry there was no nice music to start you off. At any rate, let me switch over to this other slide here. So do viewing so it's bigger. Okay. So the eclipse is going to hit us. It's hit me big time. And it's coming this Sunday, but this goes live Sunday night at midnight. So you will feel this after the eclipse. But we talked about what was coming on Monday, the 15th, and this goes out on the 22nd, a power number. That's a big deal. So I felt the lunar eclipse that happened a while back, big time. And I can tell by what I've been going through this past week that I will be hit big time by this eclipse. Based on my own astrology, it's insane. So I wanted to talk about integrating this eclipse, finding balance in a world out of balance. And I've been talking to a lot of people I know lately, and wow. If you're not getting hit by this, it means you don't notice you're getting hit, because trust me, everybody's being hit. So I'll talk about a little about, as usual, about what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing fasting and meditating the last few days. Between doing what I need to do, I've been doing a lot of meditating. And so I'm recording this on the 18th, but the 19th, 20th, and 21st, I will basically be meditating and fasting. Um, I use a lot of different essential oils, which we'll talk about. I use my crystals for meditation. I've been meditating in different rooms in the house. It's crazy what's going on. So you do need to take care of yourself. So let's talk about what is an eclipse hangover. So eclipses stir up deep emotions and hidden truths. After the eclipse, this is some of the things you can feel. Exhaustion. Oh man, I've had to take a couple naps a day, plus I'm sleeping longer at night. So it's as if your body's been through an energetic purge, and that's because you're being upgraded. Your DNA is being changed, you're getting downloads, and that information in the downloads need to be integrated. To do the integration, you have to shut down your mind. Remember Hermetic principle, I think it's number one, the universe is mind. And we are all, well, all of us that have a soul anyway, are connected to source, and our minds will be changed. And I don't mean necessarily our belief system, but I mean our structure, our frequency, our vibration. Okay, we will also feel grief or sadness. Things that were long buried may have surfaced for release. Luckily, I've done enough shadow work that I haven't had a lot of that, but I think it was 2023. I think I spent the whole year crying about God only knows what. So I've already done a lot of this old work. If you haven't done it, you may go through that. And then heightened intuition. Oh my goodness, dreams, synchronicities, downloads. Um, I recently, in 2023, one of my little doggies died, and I wanted a new one. So I have a small dog. I do small dogs. I'm old. I don't want big dogs. If they got sick, I couldn't carry them. So I wanted another small dog, and I just couldn't find one. And my brother retired and said, I have to give my dogs away. He had two small dogs, and they were brother and sister to my dog. So I took the boy so that I'd have two boys. Um, And today, so that was a little over a month ago that I got Rocky. So today Rocky comes up. He was so sweet and so loving. And I thought I should tell my brother. I said, you know, you probably really miss Rocky because he's so sweet. My brother said, I was just thinking of him. That's called synchronicity. Okay, when you're feeling what other people are feeling, that's intuition and that's synchronicity. And yeah, I don't think that's it. Well, actually, that's happened with my brother before, but that's not the point. I mean, it just happened today. And I've been contacting old speaker friends of mine about an opportunity, and they're really liking it. So obviously, I'm reaching the right people who are interested in what I want to show them. So you may be experiencing this. You may trust your dreams. They're telling you something. So I find dreams come in different categories. One is you're on the wrong path and you get a warning. I've had those warning dreams. One is you're on the right path and you're being encouraged, and another is you're being trained. And maybe you just got a download and all of a sudden your power animal come to you in your dream, or you may find a person. One time I had this guy, I didn't know who he was. He comes to me and he's showing me around this building with all these rooms. I don't know what the heck was going on. Well, I had an appointment with that person. I'd never met him. And when I walked into his office, I just stood there with my mouth open because it was the guy from my dream. And I figured out he was showing me around. It was a plan that I had, and he was showing me around. And I figured out, oh, that was that until I got into the building he was talking about. And I recognized that, oh my goodness, this is what he was trying to tell me. So that's what you're going to have happen big time. It's already started. It started with the lunar eclipse. But once the eclipse happened, you will feel this on steroids. And this is a big opportunity for you to change your life. Okay. If you miss the opportunity, this happened previously in 89, 90, 91 back then. What was going on in your life back then? Did you miss an opportunity? It's when I woke up. It's when I started meditating. It's when I completely changed my life. So if that happened the last time, it's going to happen again for me. I know it. I can feel it coming. I know it's coming. I've had these dreams. I can see my future. I can see what's happening. So what is it for you? What is going on? And so I call this the eclipse hangover because it's like you're exhausted, you're going through some kind of emotions you have no reasons for going through or can't figure out why. And all of a sudden you're getting all these synchronicities and dreams and what the heck is going on. Okay, so these are not signs that something is wrong. This is really important to know. There's nothing wrong with you. You are fine. They are evidence your system is recalibrating. So you are going from third density, maybe partially awake. Maybe you think you're fully awake. I don't think anybody is fully awake because if you were, you'd be completely aligned, you'd be a Buddha. So all of us are going through this recalibration so that we can go to higher density. People misuse the word dimension and density. So I'm just going to say dimensions are horizontal and they're unlimited. Densities are vertical and there's only 11. And each one has a specific function. We're supposedly in third density. A lot of the people I talk to are still in two densities. And I did a podcast. If you look up two density versus third, fourth, fifth density, I talk about this because so many people think there's only four elements, northwest, south, east, which is fire, earth, air, and water. And there are five. The fifth element was taken away from us. Too long an explanation to go into now. Do Om for Success. I explain it there, and that's free. Omforsuccess.com. OMFOR success.com. So if you have a graph, you have the x-axis, the y-axis, that's flat. It's square. It's two dimensions. To go to third density and three dimensions, you need the z-axis. That's ether. That's the fifth element. Okay. So we are being recalibrated because you can't go to fourth density until you're in third. You can't go to fifth until you're in fourth. And what's going to happen is in fourth density, we start to realize time doesn't exist and you can move back and forth through time. And then when you get to fifth, you can not only move back and forth through time, you can move between dimensions. That's the horizontal dimension, not densities, dimensions. So at fifth density, you can cross over dimensions. At fourth, you can move through time. That's what's happening. We are being recalibrated. Our DNA, our brains, our nervous system. You really have to work on keeping your nervous system calmed down. I've been using Rescue Remedy a lot, even though I'm not in trauma, but it's got something like 8 different essences in it, which help with trauma. And during this recalibration, it's like going through a trauma because you have to become aware of things that are going to freak you out. I'm lucky because I've been able to see through the veils since I was a small child. I still see them. So I'm okay with that. But if you haven't had that and all of a sudden you see your father who deceased died a while ago, you might freak out, okay? That's what's coming. For some people, if you're ready. If you're not ready, it won't happen. Okay, so astrology and the new energies right now. So we're in what's called an eclipse gateway, and it's the Virgo Pisces axis. So if you want to know how that's going to affect you, do your natal chart. So it's you need to know your time of birth. If you don't know your time of birth, get a rectification done, and they will figure out your time of birth. It's important because you need to know the houses. So what house is Virgo in? What house is Pisces in? So Virgo and Pisces are opposite each other. So you want to look at what houses. So I'll just give you, it comes right after Leo. And then Pisces comes right after Aquarius. So what house is Virgo in? For me, it's the third house. So you look at what does third house mean? It has to do with siblings. It has to do with how you and where you grew up, that sort of thing. Let me see what else is third house. I'm still learning astrology. It's extended family, neighbors, neighborhood, community, short distance travel, learning, early education, communication, that sort of thing. And then Pisces for me is ninth house, and that's religion, philosophy, morality, ethics, beliefs, higher education. So you can just do a Google search on your house, and it'll tell you the meaning of the house. Just say, I need to know. And then you can ask Google search, what is the meaning of the Virgo Pisces axis for me if I have Virgo in whatever house it is for you, second house, fifth house, sixth house, and Pisces in the whatever house, it'll be opposite. And it'll tell you, okay? Or you can go to some websites that may tell you, and just figure that out for you. Where are you going to be hit? So I'm going to be hit with family, where I live, and I've had lots of visions that I was going to move. I don't know where and how, but I'm clearly going to be moving. So what dreams have you been having? Pay attention to those dreams. So Virgo asks you to ground and to heal. Talk about some essential oils you can use to help you ground, or you can go outside, and we'll talk about that. And to heal, you just need to sit down and say, I am healed. I let go of anything that needs to be healed. I mean, we're in a magical state right now. You have unbelievable power. This, by the way, is Virgo, and this is Pisces, in case you don't know the symbol. So Pisces asks us to surrender and trust the unseen. So can we see this energy? Most people can't. A lot of us feel it. If you can't feel it, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean it isn't happening. It just means you're not feeling it. So after the eclipse, we're learning how to walk with both clarity and compassion. We could use some clarity and compassion in today's world. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what that means. Okay, astrology and energies right now. So Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces. So it's spent a couple of years in Pisces. And that's when we had a lot of upheaval. And I'm not going to go into the politics. You know what's going on before the current people were where they are. And then Saturn went into Aries and everything changed. Oh my goodness. It's like we're in a different world all of a sudden, but some of the old stuff is still there. So Saturn retrograded into Pisces. Hey, you didn't deal with everything you needed to deal with. And last week we talked about some of the events that caused a lot of people to wake up. And even today, a certain supposed comedian lost his show. So people are learning you can't just go around saying nasty things about people. You can't go around inciting violence. These are not acceptable behaviors. And that's been going on while Saturn was in Pisces. And now we're saying, no, that's not acceptable. So Saturn retrograded back into Pisces so we can deal with these issues. So old karmic lessons are resurfacing, especially around boundaries, spiritual responsibility, and emotional release. So if you haven't been hit with this, you will be while Saturn is in Pisces, because this is where we have to release any old negative. I mean, right now, there's so many people out there who think it's okay to be as nasty as they can and to incite really strong negative energy. That's about as strong as I'm going to go with it. And what that has to change. And Saturn, you know, if you know anything about Saturn, you know, my sun and my moon are both controlled by Saturn. It's in my second house. So whatever Saturn does, I feel it big time. And Saturn wants you to obey the rules. And being violent, being vicious, negative words, these are not acceptable to Saturn. So if you're still doing that, and you know anybody's still doing that, send them love and blessings, because they're going to get hit with karma. Okay, astrology and energies right now. So now let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius is in my 8th house. Pluto is about major transformations, getting rid of the old, creating the new. The 8th house is about death and rebirth, transformation, getting rid of the old. And guess what I have in Aquarius? My moon. So look at your chart. What do you have in Aquarius and what house is it in? And Google it if you don't know what it means, and it'll tell you what you're going to be hit with. But this is under the backdrop of collective transformation. Pluto is an outer planet. So to a certain extent, Saturn, because it takes so long to get through each house, it's not considered an outer planet, but it's an inner planet and an outer planet at the same time, in my opinion. But you've got Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And those outer planets and Saturn affect everyone. Now, they affect you also if you have any other inner planets that have some kind of negative or positive connection to those outer planets. If you don't, then they don't affect you as much, other than you will go through the transformation with the rest of us. And that's what Pluto, Aquarius is. We need to start working in communities. We need to start, oh, I'm sorry, I get the hiccups. Every time I do this, I get the hiccups. So as a collective, we need to learn to work with our neighbors, no matter what they believe, no matter who they are. We need to be gentle and kind and understanding and compassionate. And you don't have to agree with them. They can have a different religion, a different color. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people believe. They're a human being, and they deserve the dignity of being treated as a human being. no matter what their belief system, color, religion, race, whatever you want to call it. So we're not just changing individually, okay? Humanity is being restructured. So your DNA is being changed. Your mindset and nervous system is being changed. You can fight it. You can say, it's not going to happen to me. It is going to happen to everybody. But it's an opportunity for very advanced spiritual growth. 90s, late 89, this is your chance to catch up. If you didn't miss it back then, or you weren't born yet, this is your chance to go through this, because if you miss this chance, you get to come back for another 2,500 years of reincarnation. And trust me, you do reincarnate. I remember my past lives, okay? When I woke up, the first thing that happened is I was told, here's your purpose, here's who you are, here's your past lives. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, going from an atheist to that state, that is quite a shock. So you have this opportunity now to go with the flow. The energy is here. All you have to do is say, I accept this transformation. It's called Wu Wei, is the Taoist word for this, the flow. So when you go into the flow, and Wu is 5, like 5 elements, Wu Shen. So again, if you take My Own for Success, you'll understand Wu Shen and the 5 elements and the 5 Platonic solids. So Wu Wei is the flow. It's the flow that we need to be in to be on board with this energy change, transformation humanity's going through right now. And when you're on that, you will be helping the rest of humanity. You may say, well, I don't know all of humanity. I don't have a podcast. I'm just a person. That's okay. You're holding the light. You're holding the space wherever you live. And trust me, it radiates out. And the more in alignment you are, the more your energy goes out to your neighborhood, your local community. And eventually, as you gain more energy and power, it goes out further than your community, maybe to your state or province or to your country or your, continent and then hemisphere. It just depends on how powerful you become. But you are powerful. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you. We're all going through this. Affecting you. You may need more rest. Like I said, I need a couple of naps a day, and I spend a lot of time meditating. You may withdraw from activity. Well, I'm a hermit anyway, but I am doing less contact with people than normal. Emotional surges, you could have grief or anger that you haven't dealt with, or a sudden desire to let go of old patterns. And if you need help with this, my podcast next week is going to be on dealing with our shadow self. Okay, so tune in next week and we'll go into this. If you still have some of this old stuff to let go of, because we'll still be under the influence of this eclipse for some time. I gotta have some water. Sorry about that. Okay, all right. So you may want to withdraw. If you live with people, you may need to just explain to them, you know what, I just need some time alone, and go to a room and be alone, or get in your car and go be in nature or something. So you may find nervous system sensitivity, and I talked about that earlier. So you may get overstimulated, disrupted sleep, or feeling like the world is too loud. That's why I've been using the rescue remedy. You can get this at any local, most pharmacies and a lot of grocery stores, definitely health food stores and Amazon. All carry rescue remedy. That way you don't have to figure out which, I have a whole kit, so I'll just reach in and grab one and, oh, okay, I need this right now. But you don't have, if you're touching on all different emotions. Or you can use some essential oils. We'll talk about that in a minute. But just know your nervous system is because your frequency is going up. Okay, so with frequency, I don't know how much science you know, but just really quickly, um, the lower frequencies have bigger space between the up and the down, and they actually can go higher because it's the same amount of time. So you've got a certain amount of time, and the frequency, the little up and down part, and it could, if it's really slow, it'll be a sine wave. It's a wave, it's not even pointed. But the faster it goes, the more pointed it gets because the more of these up and downs you need in a second. Well, when the frequency goes up, instead of being, say, 3, it might be 5. So it's going, and you're used to, so that's kind of a poor analogy maybe, but that's actually what's happening in terms of frequency. If you had a oscilloscope and you were measuring it, that's what you would see. It would go from a nice up and down steady spike to much faster. And that's affecting your nervous system. So you need to shut down and allow your nervous system to recalibrate itself. Your brain will be working faster. Yeah, you'll actually feel smarter. And that's because your intuition is working. You're really connected to source. And you'll be thinking of things you never even thought of. I know I have this week, all kinds of, how am I going to do this? Oh, okay. All of a sudden I know how to do it. Where did that come from? Oh, okay. It just came through in an instant when I asked. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to know things instantly when you need to know it, as long as you're resting and recalibrating your nervous system. Okay, for some, exhilarating sense of clarity, sudden purpose, ideas, or recognition of what must change. And this is happening the big time. Like I said, I know things are going to change. I don't know how. I just know that they are. And how do I know that? I trust my intuition because I've had this in the past. I have big time in 2020, completely changed my life. I went from only teaching in person and only working one-on-one with people in person to being online and doing everything online and starting the Enlightenment Academy, and not doing very much one-on-one, but doing it in groups. So my life changed dramatically, and it's going to happen again because that's the energy that we're in. So I'm not going to say that it's going to be as horrific as 2020 was for so many of us, but it is going to be that magnitude of a change if you allow yourself to go through it. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably one of those people that's going to really find your life on steroids and going forward in a very positive way because you're awake. People who aren't awake don't listen to me. Okay, tools for integration. Here are some simple yet powerful practices for finding balance. So, obviously, walking barefoot on the earth. We can't do that in Arizona, so I have a grounding pad underneath my desk so that my feet are on the grounding pad. And I can actually feel the vibration coming through the pad. Eat warm, nourishing foods to stabilize digestion and energy. And if you're over 60, you need to take digestive enzymes. A lot of people don't realize they need it and they stop eating certain foods because, oh man, I didn't feel good after that meal. Take digestive enzymes. By the time you get to my age, you I always take digestive enzymes. Okay, so use grounding essential oils. So again, here's some oils. There's cedar wood. I don't have that one here. There's vetiver. Yeah, I have vetiver here. Patchouli. I don't like the smell of patchouli, but if you like it, that's good. And then of course I have frankincense here. So what you can do is just sniff them because vetiver, well, none of these four can be put on your skin directly. So you can just sniff it out of the bottle, or you can diffuse it. So you can put whichever one or combination you like, maybe put 3 or 4 drops of each into your distiller, and then just, not your distiller, your diffuser. Sorry, dyslexia hit me, 2 words with a D. So you can diffuse it into the room. If you have fish or birds, you don't want to do that. You don't want to diffuse oils with certain pets. Or you can create, there's the, do I have one here? Thought I had one here. I might have, oh, here we go. You can get one of these things. I don't know if you can see me. Here, I can just do a stop share. Okay, we can go back. You can get one of these things and you take it off, and this is frankincense. I have another one that is lavender. So you can carry this in your purse or whatever, and you can just do a quick sniff. So it comes apart. I won't take it apart, but there's a wick in there, and you put the essential oil on the wick and you put the cap on so it doesn't evaporate. Or you can make a roll on. So you can get a roller. So when you take the cap off, there's a roller ball, and you put something in there. It could be olive oil, fractionated coconut oil, any really simple oil that you like that you have, and then put the essential oils in there with it. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 drops, depending. If you're using all 4, then maybe 2 drops of each, and then you can just roll it on your wrist, go like this and sniff it. So there's many different ways you can have this with you and use it all day long. So I just keep them on my desk and I just sniff. Okay. So again, let me do a screen share and go back there. Okay, I think we're back. All right, so that was cedarwood, vetiver, patchouli, frankincense. And it doesn't say this, but I'm going to say, even though it's not grounding, lavender oil is an adaptogen, so it helps. It's not it has a little bit of nervine properties, so it will help calm your nervous system. So I lather myself with lavender several times a day. It really, really does help balance your nervous system and your emotions. Okay, so more tools for integration, sacred rest. So scheduled downtime, just literally put it in your calendar. Okay, from 2 to 3, I'm going to take a meditation nap. Eclipse energy can take 3 to 7 days to integrate. So you're going to go through this all next week, okay? The more you are changing, the more time you will need to integrate because you will receive even more. So the more your body is able to change and absorb, the more you will receive. Okay, it's that simple. If you resist it, you won't receive as much. And then you'll have to do the work afterwards. And it's easier when you have these energies going on to go like Mach 10 through the changes. You have to be ready for that. You have to have the downtime, and it's not easy, especially if you're living with a family and you've got kids to take care of and you've got 1 or 2 jobs or whatever. For some people, this is very, very challenging. But if you have the time, especially if you live alone, take the time, take the downtime, do the extra meditations. You don't necessarily have to take a nap. You can just do a long meditation. And these will help you to integrate this energy. You can do yin yoga. I'm not a yoga person, so I don't know what yin yoga is, but it's a gentle form of yoga. I wouldn't do like hatha yoga, that hot stuff. You need to go really slow. So like Tai Chi, Qigong, those are really great to do at this time. And do stretching. So that's what a lot of people think yoga is stretching. And no, if you think yoga is stretching, you're using it as an exercise and you missed the whole point of yoga. I have interviewed people on my channel who teach the real yoga, and they actually stopped teaching the movement yoga because too many people have missed the whole purpose of yoga. But do some stretching, whatever that is. If you have straps, I find at my desk, but oh boy, I just need it. These ribbon things, so you can just pull and stretch and do whatever you need to do. That's how I exercise. I have weights, but I never use them. I should get rid of them because I like these stretchy things. Prioritize sleep. Allow your body to catch up with your spirit, and go to bed an hour early, or sleep in an hour later if you can, or take a nap if you can. But something that helps with sleep and is pretty easy to get is ashwagandha. You can get it at most pharmacies. I have an online store, Full Script. If you go to my website, you can click on the extra links and you get 10% off. And I know they have ashwagandha. They have it on Amazon. So it's all over the place. Just make sure that they're CGMC. In other words, they've been tested and what's in it is really ashwagandha and it doesn't have lead or other toxins. There's a lot of supplements out there with garbage in them. So you want to make sure you've got a good brand. If you need help, you know how to get hold of me. All my websites have a free 15-minute talk. So you can get hold of me and I can help you figure out which ones to buy. So prioritize your sleep. And this is super important. Even if you're not quite asleep, if you're just kind of like, oh, I see the sun's coming up. Yeah, just if you're not ready to get up, don't get up. Allow yourself that extra time. You may actually fall into, especially in the morning, you may fall back into a dream state. And those dreams you usually remember, and those dreams in the morning are usually the ones that are prophetic. The first ones at night are you letting go of whatever's occupying your mind at the time. The middle of the night is your brain restructuring and downloading short-term memory and long-term memory. And in the morning, it's your future. It's the prophetic. So it's past, current, future, the three stages of dreaming. And in the morning, you're more likely to remember it. The ones in the middle of the night, you don't need to remember. And the ones when you first lay down are things you just need to let go of, which is why I tell people journal before you go to bed. Then you don't have to go through all that. You put your head down, you go to sleep. Okay. More tools for integration. So weaving shadow and light. So here's a couple of journals for you. I've been doing lots of journal. I have 2 journals now. I have one in the dining room and one in my office. I normally just journal in my office. So you can have 2, 3. You can have one by your bed, your dream journal. Put them wherever you need. If you feel like you need to write in the moment, whatever you're doing, have a journal there that you can write in. So here's a prompt. What came up for me during this eclipse that I'd rather bury or let go? What are you hanging on to? How can I love that part of myself into wholeness? In other words, love your body. Okay, I love my body, but I want to lose weight. So I'm now on the carnivore diet and I'm losing weight like Matt. Okay, I still am overweight, but I still love my body. But I'm healing all kinds of issues that I didn't have any real illnesses. I don't take any medications, but I had some things that needed fixing and they're being fixed. This diet is amazing. So I'm loving myself into wholeness. So whatever it is about your body you don't like, love it so that it heals. Okay? Love your body so that it heals. Love your emotions so that they heal. Love yourself. Love who you are. You're a wonderful human being. There's nothing wrong. Are you perfect? No. So what? None of us is perfect. Have I ever changed my opinion on something? Yeah. I went from being an atheist to not being an atheist. That's a major change. So what is it you need to let go of? And journal it. You know, I've believed this my whole life, and now I'm seeing that there's another side to this. I can look at this another way. I can see other people's point of view on this. I may not agree with them. I may still think, well, I still want to go this way, but at least now I can see their point of view. And we need a lot of that in today's world. Okay, tools for integration again. Meditation. So here's a meditation you can do. Visualize breathing light into your heart. So you have your heart, just, whatever colored light, it could be white light, it could be violet light, it could be golden light, whatever light you like to use. Just visualize breathing that into your heart and then exhaling compassion to the parts of yourself still in shadow. So you're just breathe in the light and I heal, because you have an aura, and each layer of your aura is connected to one of the 7 chakras. You have 7 layers, 7 chakras, and each layer manifests that part of your body. So if it's a physical body problem, first chakra, first layer of the aura. If it's a love and emotion problem, that's second chakra, second layer. And so it goes all the way up to your crown chakra. Ritual, you can light a candle. I love lighting candles. I make candles. I have candles all over the house. More candles than I know what to do with. A friend of mine just asked me, "Are you going to make any more candles?" Not, no, not anytime soon, probably, because I haven't even burned all the candles that I moved here with. And Christmas, 2 Christmases ago, I made a whole batch of candles, but I gave them all away because I didn't need them. Yeah, light a candle. If you don't have a candle, make one out of essential oils. You just get a little bit of wax, you melt it. When I was a kid, I used to make candles. We would use a pan, and we would take old candles and shave them. You just take a knife and shave them into little pieces. We'd melt them, and we'd pour them into Dixie cups, and we'd take a pencil, tie a spring to it, and put the spring. We just use regular spring and put it into the Dixie cup, and then we burn the candle at dinner. So, how much does a little package of Dixie cups cost? And use some old candles, or buy a couple of real cheap ones at the store and melt them down and use string. Okay? Poor man's candle. So I've been making candles since I was a kid. And they're fun to light. And turn the lights a little dimmer. You don't have blaring overhead lights, and you have this nice little candle. And it's not just romantic, but you can talk to source easier in dimmer light. I don't know why. Maybe that's why in the middle of the night when you meditate, which is when I like to meditate a lot, you can get a stronger connection to source. And you can get a stronger connection when you have dimmer lights and a candle burning and you just look at the fire. Fire is the first element. Fire is the beginning of the cycle. Fire is number one. Fire is Aries. It's the beginning of the astrology chart. The circle starts with Aries, fire sign. And what's Aries rule? It rules Mars, big fire planet. So if you have fears or hopes or whatever you have, you can name those and put them into the flame of transformation. So when you burn something, you're letting it go up to source, and the ashes go to the earth. Just be careful you don't set anything on fire. Okay. But I love I'll write things down, things I want to let go of, and then on another sheet, things I want to bring in. I'll burn the things I want to let go of, and I let it go, and then I burn the things. This is what I want to manifest. This is what I'm bringing in. I do those on separate pieces of paper. I like to especially do that on New Year's. Okay, so eclipses remind us that endings and beginnings are inseparable. Everything ends eventually. It's not the end. It's the beginning of something new. So fighting change that's inevitable is a waste of energy. You just woo away your way through it. Woo away, go with the flow. This is what's happening. Just go with it. This hangover isn't a punishment. It's your soul catching up with the new frequencies that have been activated. Okay? So your body, your nervous system, your brain, you are changing. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not sick. Well, some people are sick, but hopefully if you're going through this, you're healthy, because it makes it a little bit easier than if you're, down with a cold or something. So give yourself permission to rest, to grieve, to integrate, and to dream. What is the future that you want? What are you manifesting? Are you going haphazard through the world thinking, oh, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? What do you want to happen tomorrow? Create it. Manifest on it. What do I need to do to have this happen? And keep in mind, you need to be in the flow of what does source want to happen. That's your purpose. Okay, you want me to do this? I need to know how. Boom, all of a sudden it'll just come into your head. Like that's what happened to me with some. I didn't know how I'm going to do this. Boom, all of a sudden I knew. That's what happens, especially with this energy right now. Now, we just went through an energy where with Saturn conjunct Neptune, where during the lunar eclipse, where our intuition was all messed up. It's like, I don't know, because Neptune is about illusions and dreams that aren't real and craziness. Well, we're away from that because Saturn is now in Pisces. And we're here to clean up whatever we didn't clean up the last time it was here. So dream what you want so that when Saturn goes back to Neptune, I think that's next April, something like that. So when Saturn goes back next to Neptune, you already know what you're manifesting. You already know your dream and it's clear for you because you did it now. So that Neptune is going to support you, not cause delusions. Neptune causes delusion. Neptune rules Pisces, by the way. Okay, so in doing so, you contribute to the balance of a world that often feels out of balance. And I don't watch the news, but what little snippets I get accidentally here and there, this world is out of balance. Okay, people are not just divided, and I'm not either side. Okay, I'm not left or right, but there's a lot of people that are extreme left, extreme right, and both sides are out of balance. Okay, the group in the middle, the independent, is a growing group. These are people that are looking for balance. They can see good and not so good on both sides, and nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. Okay, I don't care what you believe. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. So find your center, find your balance, find what works for you, whatever that is. It's going to be different for all of us, which is a good thing. It'd be really boring if we were all alike. We need the diversity. That's a good thing. I love diversity. It's the spice of life. It keeps things interesting. Okay, there we are. So here's the OM for Success, omforsuccess.com. And if you go to Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy.com, if you go into the links, there's my full script store. And anybody who signs up under me gets 10% off for life. So it's a pretty good deal. And then major holidays like Easter and just before Thanksgiving, several times a year, you get an extra 5% off. So I always tell people, bulk up during the sale, you get 15% off. And that way, the rest of the time, you only get 10%. So buy it when it's on sale. So it's great seeing you. Again, I don't have any way to do an ending. I don't have music and nothing because I'm just recording this on Zoom, and then I have to just upload it to YouTube because my software is on the dead computer, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get it fixed. I think the battery died, but it could have taken the motherboard with it. I don't know. We'll find out. So I will be on this really slow laptop. It doesn't have my solar fire, so I can't do a lot of my astrology. So I'm really down right now. But so I'm going to record next week. So you'll see me again next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about shadow. And so I won't have a nice polished intro and trailer next week either. We'll see about the week after that, how that goes. Okay, so as always, be well and remember to be the light you want to see in the world.